Peace, everyone. My name is Q. Welcome to Goddess on Deck. This is my new video. This one is called, well, really, it has no title. So we'll just sum it up, and basically we'll talk about self-love for the sisters and why it's important to, after discovering self-love, why it's important to learn marketing systems, especially when it comes to your career choices and your love life. Okay, and also just knowing who you need to be around. Okay, and so of course when you hear marketing, you think that marketing is about selling something. So at some point we're all selling something, and so you want to make sure that you put yourself out there at the, in the best way. Okay, so number one, why is it necessary for women to date multiple men? Okay, number one, if you're single, sisters, after discovering self-love, it's very important to date multiple men. Okay, now I know for some of you who only think about the physicality part of dating, you're gonna think of sex immediately, right? Especially the men, right? You're gonna think that, oh, I'm telling them to have sex with multiple men. That's not what I'm telling them. However, for all you brothers that do suffer from low self-esteem and insecurities, I'm here to break the news for you. If you care about a woman's background and who she's been with, that really says a lot about you, to be honest, because you have to be more aware of reality. Okay, we're human. Okay, number one, all of this scientific fact about women are more emotional, let me tell you something. We're more emotional because we came first. We were on the planet first. So there's things that we've endured before you got here that made us more empathic than you. And so when you say that you think that you may be more logical, that's also not true. The point is that we don't like to hurt your feelings. Okay? We don't like to hurt your feelings. So that's why some women go out of their way to lie about who they've been with when they don't need to. If that's your main concern before you really get involved with her, you don't need to get involved with her. You don't need to get involved with anyone, because when you have self-love, you really don't give a shit what people think about you. Okay? So it's really, really interesting that as women, we have grown to accept this construct and this manipulation, this mind fuck that we allow ourselves to beat ourselves up with, or the reputation that others will give you if you're doing this or that. And it's how you do it, number one. Just like when they say you don't want to react, you want to respond properly to things, right? So of course it's based on how you handle things. I'm not sharing that a woman should go out and just willy-nilly have sex with whoever she wants, where she's not calculating when, who, where, I mean, it takes calculation, not to where your name is just thrown out there like, oh, you're not anything. Which, even in the beginning of my sexual past, to be honest, I was called out of my name before I even had many to deal with in the first place. And that came from just a boy that just wanted to throw my name out there so that his friends would think less of me because he didn't want to date me anymore. But did that mean that I wasn't worthy? No, that was his opinion and his own self-worth that he was reflecting on to me. So we as women have been subjected to allowing ourselves to be ridiculed based on the insecurities of others, even other women. If you look at the Greek and the Roman days, where there's always a powerful woman that is either the mother or maybe she's a part of the elders, where she's given advice to one of the men, giving him advice about a woman that she doesn't think is worthy of marrying him because of his status or something like that. And if you think back on a lot of the ways that we've been taught, even as women, we will hear other women speaking negatively about other women. And most of the time, is due to jealousy because that woman now has an option to date a man that you can't date. So you think that you can give him advice to not date that woman based on your own opinions. And they may be valid in some cases, but most of the time, when you're dealing with women who haven't even loved themselves properly, who are they to tell you who you should date, right? And most of us have mothers, aunties, grandmothers, and cousins and friends who think like this. And so, unfortunately, the female species have conditioned men to believe that this is okay to judge other women. Now they dress up and do it better than we do, throwing shade, right? So, I got the umbrella for your ass. Now, the reason why I say that women will be more so allowed and will date multiple men, especially after they go through the workshop and learn the formula is only 8 steps to discovering self-love, is because if you think about it, men explore, right? They explore many different options, okay? And they make sure that before they settle down, that they are comfortable with that one. That she's doing a little bit of this, she has a little bit of that, she can cook maybe, she has the right look, or maybe no children, or whatever your criteria is for a woman. Most of you men date multiple women, and it's more than 5. If you can, you're dating more than 5, especially if you're in your prime, in your earlier years where you're just fucking around. And then even really throughout your whole life, this is what you all like to do. And you make excuses about how much lack of self-control you have down there to prove why you need multiple women, which is not true either. Okay? You really don't. Because for a woman who lacks self-control down there as well, she would also agree that she needs more than one. You know why? Because not one person can please you on all levels completely. Because as we evolve as humans, whether if you're a man or a woman, you find out that there's different things about yourself that you have now ventured into, and now you want to explore, but the person that you're with may not be into what you're into at the moment. And I mean even spiritually, you know, sometimes we're in spiritual relationships with people where we've outgrown them, and then we meet someone that is spiritually in tune with what we're about at the moment. And so sometimes you could be more so connected spiritually, but you still love whoever you're with at the time, you know, based on all the other reasons that you've been with them, correct? So this applies to men and women. And what happens is a lot of men want to downplay the woman's role as if we are only here to reproduce and only here to help him. Let me tell you something. The only way that you can truly help us is if you help. Only way that we could truly help you is if you help us, is what I'm saying. Okay, and that means that you must be honest with the actual emotions and feelings and logical thinking that women really do have. Most of the time, we're not being logical, because if we're too logical with you without being vulnerable and crying a little bit, sometimes you'll take that as, oh, well, you're just being emotional. Now you're being childish. Who are you to say that we're being childish? Because if I do what you're doing, then you will act like a child, but you wouldn't want me to say that to you. So how is it that we are meant to dumb ourselves down and deal with our emotions better than you as men, right? However, from logic, we're built to take it. You men have to come up with a better argument, okay? So to sum it all up, it's law of averages, okay? That's the reason why women should date multiple men, okay? Because if she's only choosing based on the opinions of other people and based on the perception of having a bad reputation, if she's dating too many men, most women will only date up to 3 different guys, right? One of them, she may have sex with all 3 at some point because it's not right away. It's not consecutive like that. However, most women, if she's single, she's gonna date up to maybe 3 guys, right? And then out of the 3, she's narrowing down her options out of 3. Now, for all my sports goers, okay, this is a theory. This is one of the marketing theories. I'm only gonna mention one on this video. However, for my sports goers, if you're playing basketball, okay, and you want to make 30 shots, 30 free throws, right? Do you think that you can make 30 free throws out of 30 shots? No. Not consecutive, not in a row. You won't be able to make all 30. So, now, would you be able to make 30 shots out of taking 50? Maybe, right? Maybe. So, if you took 100 shots, now for some of you dumbasses that will take this example and think that I'm saying that it's 100 men, you're really dumb. But just listen to the logic, since you think us women don't apply it. So, if you take 100 shots, okay, and you want to make 30, do you really think that you will be able to make 30 shots out of taking 100? I'm sure you will. I think I can, to be honest. If I had 100 opportunities to make 30 shots, to throw the ball in the basket from the free throw line, I could do that. If I had 100 opportunities to do it, yes, I know I could do it. Okay? Because that's how law of averages work. Even in sales, you're taught to seek all the no's. You want all your rejections to get out the way so that it makes room for the yeses. So if women are only dealing with 3 based on what she likes, based on some physicality attraction, or based on money, you know, which is a dumbass reason, women, it's a dumbass reason, okay? I mean, everything should be taken accounted for. However, money shouldn't be your main focal point, okay? But we all have our different criteria, motives and things like that. Like we have our different needs and wants. So our list will be different. But yet, if we're only all dating about 3 before we choose one, and then you got to narrow it down because, you know, one of them out of the 3 just doesn't even really match. You know, you probably was killing time, because brothers kill time with sisters as well, you know. But after learning self-love and discovering that for yourself, you learn not to waste anyone's time at all. You learn to get rid of them quicker, so that way no feelings are getting involved, because you wouldn't want someone to play around with your heart either. So for all the brothers that would assume that, oh, I'm going to teach the sisters to be cold-hearted, it may appear that way because you're not used to the sisters being more direct and more aggressive and assertive about what it is that we deserve. And it's time out for all the other past shit. I'm just saying. So unfortunately, there are some brothers that's threatened by this concept. However, fuck them. Anyway, so applying the basketball theory to your dating, once you discover self-love, this is a must, because you'll have more options. You'll be able to weigh the pros and cons with each individual, and you won't even have to have sex with each of them, because some of you brothers don't make it past the DMs. Some of you don't make it past the first date. Some of you are not even worthy of speaking to in person. You'd rather just talk to them over the phone, or, you know, everybody knows what it is that narrows each person down to where you get rid of them. But if you're only dealing with 3 people that you've actually opened up to engage with for a moment, you know, to just get to know, your outcome is not going to be as good as you think. Okay? Just think about that. Okay, number 2. Why men love to continue shopping for what they really want while taking advantage of who is willing to give. Okay? Now, the reasons for this is lack of self-worth. Okay? As much as men like to project onto women that, okay, the woman must have daddy issues, so she's clingy, or she needs him, or she's insecure. Most of the men who accept these women also have mommy issues. They're insecure. They're deeply wounded inside, okay? Do not let them fool you. I've been there, so I know from experience, all right? So, and experience is the best teacher, all right? So, but you'll hear about those on our one-on-one, sisters. So, but also the lack of self-discipline. You know, brothers really don't want to challenge themselves. And I'm not saying all, for the record. I'm not saying all. However, most brothers do not like challenging themselves to have more discipline about what it is that they accept in their life. Some of them want to have their cake and just eat it too. And yet they don't realize that because they lack self-love within themselves, the discipline is out the window because they don't have any. So who are they to judge the woman that they're actually accepting in their life? You can't, because she's a reflection of you. Also, self-awareness. So if you're not even aware of where you are in your life at that moment, you know, you won't really be more aware of who you're attracting and who you are accepting in your life to be a potential mate. Because you're not even aware of who you are. You're not aware of your insecurities. And if you are aware of them, okay, you don't really want to accept them. And denial is a hell of a drug, y'all. It's a hell of a drug, okay? Now also, self-active care. A lot of brothers will accept a sister that don't take care of herself. Or let's say that she was well kept up in the beginning, but then she allowed herself to fall apart. That brother accepts it to a degree because he's already of the thinking that this is not going to last anyway. But he never said that a year or two ago. Now they done had a baby or two or something, and he's still looking for another option. But now she's committed. She's in it, you know, and we know us women, we hang in there because, like I said, we don't want to hurt your feelings, okay? Unless she's really in love and she loves herself, she'll know what that means. You got to love yourself in order to really, truly love someone else, okay? So if you are accepting a woman that really hasn't grown to love herself, then you love the lower sides of her, which are reflections of you. And I keep saying this, that for any brother that accepts women with low low self-esteem and insecurities, and she's deeply wounded, hasn't healed, whether if it's mommy or daddy issues, because let's keep it real, as women and men, we all have, whether if it's mommy or daddy issues on both ends. It doesn't matter if you're a man and you have mommy issues, or it doesn't matter if you're a woman and you have daddy issues. You could still have mommy issues if you're a female. The point is that they're issues and they need to be corrected. However, when you have one wounded person trying to tell you what you need to correct about yourself, but yet they're in the mud with you, and they're not correcting shit about themselves. They are only projecting their own deep wounds that they're not willing to correct. They're projecting it onto you. And they get a kick out of feeling better about themselves while doing so. Because it make you feel like they're the only ones that understand you. They make you feel like they're the only ones that will accept you, as if they're the only person that you deserve. Right, sisters? As if they made you. All right, so let's see what else I have here. So why do men say that they made a woman? Don't we hear that a lot? I made you. Like even Ike said that, right? To Tina, I made you. Where do you get off saying that you made someone? And some women have this complex too. You know, you think that you have this savior complex. This is what's fucking us up as a people, okay? To be real, this is what's fucking us up, because we're so caught up in our own ego that we fail to realize that people change, and people will change based on what they are forced to do, whether if it's good or bad. Because circumstances can force someone to change for the better or for the worse. Right? Now, sisters, don't you find it interesting that most brothers only want to take responsibility for a sister doing well? Like, if she's more confident, or if her ass got thicker, oh, I did that. Like, everything that's right with her, oh, I made you like that. But as soon as she is doing some hell shit, okay, she doing all kinds of dumb shit, they don't take no credit for that. They don't take no credit for that. So once again, everything that I'm pointing out is about self-love, okay? Self-awareness, self-discipline, self-reflection, self-healing, self-worth, okay? And why are men threatened by a woman who knows what they want, or knows what she wants? Once again, insecurities. Once again, after the sisters take on this journey to discover self, and I'm talking about, this is a mushroom that I've already envisioned. I've seen this, and it's happening on a gradual level, and I'm not in any rush. I'm not in any rush, okay? I get the DMs, so I know what the sisters are doing. I know what they're thinking. And to be honest, some of you are in all of our DMs and we talk. Because I'm building a trust amongst the sisters to let them know that we are not in competition. See, there's a new level of feminine energy that's taken upon the earth right now. This universe is granting everything to us. And if you're a real God or a real man or a real king, whatever you want to call yourself, you will learn to embrace it. It will serve you. Yet, the moment you try to manipulate and persuade us to think lower than who we are, you get cut off. Cut off. Cut off. Okay? And this process is going to allow us to cut you off quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. There will be no bullshitting. Okay? And don't you find it interesting that a lot of the brothers will also say that they look for an independent woman that got her shit together, but yet you also love taking advantage of the ones who are broken and need to be saved, you think, right? For some reason you think that, like, oh, every black woman needs to be saved, you know, like, oh, she got a couple of children, oh, the father ain't around. Let's be real, y'all. You feed your ego, some of you brothers, you feed your ego by doing just enough to attract her. You do just enough to keep her, but you're actually not doing any more than what the last one did. You know, you're not. But because you think you can one up the last one, just like females be thinking that they have to compete with the last one as well, or compete with any future ones. Self-love does not have you competing with no motherfucking body. It leaves you in your own element, and for those who want to be with you, they will be with you on all levels. And whatever level that they're not with you on, they'll love you so much that they're going to learn how to love that side of them, because obviously they were attracted to that in you. So now they have to embrace that in them. But if that's not what you're interested in and you just want to mind fuck people, then these types of women is not for you. You'll miss out. You will miss out. It's not our fault. We're giving you the shit factor all day. So also another reason why men will take advantage of one woman that they're with while they're looking for another to meet more of their needs is because they're afraid of being alone as well. Okay, they also have abandonment issues. Okay, especially if the father or the mother left. Okay, for whatever reasons that is. Okay, we're not going to get into the specifics of that because everyone has their own unique story. Yet that's also the reason too, sisters. So keep that in mind, that a lot of these brothers, you have to ask a lot of the detailed questions before you get too involved. You know, as you're dating them, these are questions that you want to allow to come up so that you can go with this flow to figure out what do you like about them and what do you not like about them, and can you deal with them when you're dealing with the things that you don't like about them, you know, on a long-term level. And really ask yourself, because you shouldn't feel like you settled. Not at all. Not at all. When men finally decide on a woman, they don't feel like they settled. Especially when it comes down to a man choosing to marry someone. Most of the time, that man knows that he wanted to marry her. Unless he was pressured. And that's not good either. But they also need to be seen as the best thing that you've ever had. Okay? That savior complex I spoke on before. A lot of times, brothers will stay with a woman that they think needs them. And if more sisters actually realize that you don't need them like that, you know, especially if they think they're doing you a favor, you don't need that type of man in your life. You know, you need to know that you can do anything and everything on your own if need be. And be willing to let him go if need be. Because if you notice, when a man is fed up, oh, they fed up, ain't they? They leave. Most of the time they have a little plan B. But even if they don't, they know that if they're fed up, they're just fed up. They're not coming back to the relationship. They're done. They're not on that frequency anymore. Whatever caused them to be at that point. So, sisters, you have to be the same way. When you're done, you're done. And then let them earn that position back. And they have to be consistent in their actions, you know, to earn that love and that trust again, you know. And I will say that if there is any bad vibes that linger from past transgressions, you know, you have to have enough love for yourself to forgive yourself for allowing such behaviors. Okay, but forgive yourself, and along with that, forgive that person too. Truly, truly. Because if not, those things will haunt you during the entire relationship. And so the person will carry on thinking that you have moved on, but the entire time you actually have been side-eyed looking at them like, that's phony. And so when you discover love for yourself, there's no way in the world you're going to play with someone's heart and their mind that way. Okay? There's just no way in the world. All right? So, let me see. Well, I pretty much... Oh, also the very last one is when you have options, sisters. When a man knows that you have options, they know that they have to play their cards more strategically than just like you're some average girl, you know, because you're not the average. And you have to know that you're above average. You have to conduct yourself as if you know that you are above average, so that you could demand above average actions. There's no way in the world that you can be a low vibrational sister and demand a high vibrational man. You know, that's just not going to make any sense. You will lose him as quick as you got him. And even if you do maintain a relationship like that, it's most likely not as true and real and lovable as it really could be. So I said all of that to say that when it comes to discovering self-love, it's a beautiful process. The good and the bad. It's a beautiful process. It's something that you have to embrace. And sometimes during the process, you have to learn to embrace yourself. Okay? Because you deserve that. You deserve to be held, comforted. And if nobody else is going to do that for you, you do it for you. You take the time to love who you are, inside and out. Like, I can look at myself and go, damn, I love who I am. You know, I love who I am. My good side and my bad side. Like, shit. Sometimes I look at my bad side and be like, bitch, you a bad motherfucker. Goddamn. She good. Ooh. But I have to learn to keep her to the side and only bring her out when necessary. But when it's time for her to come out, goddamn, I love her. I love her. I'm serious. And other people love it too. They be like, damn, I didn't know you had that in you like that. I didn't know. I be like, I know. But my point is that in order for the brothers to get used to this new frequency, this divine feminine that we're talking about here, okay, you have to embrace it first as women. There's no way in the world that the brothers are going to understand this. And this is not a force, okay? We are not here to force shit. Let's get that through your heads. We don't have to force shit, okay? Everything is happening as it is planned. The brothers know what's going on. Some of them are very afraid. They are. They are. They're acting like, you know how a parent, feels like they're losing control over their child a little bit, or the opportunity to like hover over their baby. Like, say you're about to leave your baby at a babysitter and the baby is crying for you and crying for you, and the mother can't seem, or the daddy, because some cases the father is the same way. But you know how the parent is always like, oh, is she okay? Is he okay? And the babysitter's like, go, because you're making it worse. Like, will you take your ass to work? You know? And they're afraid to break that bond, you know, for that moment, just for those 8 hours while they're at work, you know? And it's because they are afraid of losing control. That's what it really is. I've done childcare, so I've dealt with a lot of parents. And a lot of parents didn't like my methods because I'm strict. You can take your damn spoiling ass on somewhere. If you want your child to be with me, you gotta go. Because I'm not gonna spoil them like that. So sometimes we choose people that we think we can spoil to a certain degree to allow them to cling to us in need, because it makes us feel good. But you have to be mindful of that feeling. It can be very deceiving. Okay? And when you love yourself, you know the freedom that you know you are desiring. You know, and it doesn't mean that you can't be committed to someone. It simply means that you need the freedom in order to fly sometimes. Knowing that you're coming back, you're not going to do anything to hurt the other person, because when you love yourself, you're not going to hurt anyone else. Why would you? And if you know that you're capable of hurting someone else, be honest, up front. No force. Okay? And so that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this. For all the sisters that have been inquiring about the 8-step formula, go ahead and send me an email to goddessonq@gmail.com. And then you can also check me out on Instagram. goddessondeck.33 is where you can find me there. That's my personal page. However, you could also catch me on my self-love discovery page, and that's Goddess of Self-Love Discovery. And find me there. Otherwise, I do what I do. I do what I do. I'm not in a hurry to be well known in that sense. This formula is what I put more energy towards because it's something that we need. And I would love for more sisters to share this with more sisters, because I am coming in a way where I want you to not feel attacked about what your norm is, because our norm is what's getting us into these situations. It's our norm. It's what we've been comfortable with. You know, let's keep it real. It's our norm. And so at some point we must change the norm. We must become abnormal. And so I'll leave you with this quote of mine's. Okay? So going with the flow can be scary. However, becoming the flow scares everybody else. Okay? That is what you need to become. But you got to first learn how to go with the flow first. But then when you become your own flow, others, it will take a little while for them to be attracted to that energy. But they know that they want it. But, you know, they got to resist it. So sometimes you may be going clockwise and they're going to go counterclockwise. But eventually, you come together. For whatever purpose, you'll come together. So sisters, I love you. Brothers, I love you too. And hopefully you don't take this as an attack on you. It's really not. If you keep in mind, whatever we're assisting each other with as sisters, it benefits you brothers as well. So just keep your hearts open. All right? Keep your hearts open. It's very important to lead with your heart. All right? And be free. Be you and be free. Love you.